So are you thinking about living in Port St Lucie, South Florida along the Treasure Coast? Well, you will want to watch this video, ladies and gentlemen, because today we are going to give you an amazing mid-year update about the pros and cons about living in Port St Lucie in South Florida. I'm Sean, I'm with eXp Realty. This is Living in South Florida Relocation Realty. Today, we're not just giving you a studio video where I sit in a studio and show you pictures and videos. No. I'm going to go out on the street. I'm going to hit the ground running. I'm going to show you some of the things that people love about living here in Port St Lucie and some of the things that they don't love so much about living in Port St Lucie. I think you're going to want to watch this because we're going to go everywhere from the beaches to the marinas to the shopping areas to some of the communities, both non-HOA and HOA gated communities that are available here in the county of St. Lucie. Let's get after it right now. I am here in Clover Park in the north part of the county in St. Lucie. We are here at the New York Mets spring training facility. Where are you all my Long Islanders, my folks from Queens, my friends from New York, the 5 boroughs? Are you a Mets fan? Well, you can catch their spring training games all the time here at Clover Park in St. Lucie. They've got great seating, good ticket prices, plenty of parking, all kinds of cool stuff to do down here, like for photo opportunities where you could sit at this giant seat, you know, the Mets right there, and just enjoy, take some pictures with your family and the kiddos. And guys, top secret, my brother-in-law was a New York Met. That is totally true. He made it to the championship. He was an excellent athlete back in the 80s, early 90s. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I'll let you know who it was. Going back to this, tons of family-friendly activities to do here in Port St. Lucie. You've got a lot of parks, beaches, outdoor things. Stay tuned because we're going to go show you a couple other areas. But this is a big pro. Outdoor family activities are very plentiful here. There's Savannah's Preserve State Park. There's Oak Hammock Park, Jessica Clinton Park, where they have baseball fields, boardwalks, playgrounds, tennis courts, basketball courts. So it's very family friendly. The one con I will say though, because I want to be completely honest, I don't want to sugarcoat this area. Port St. Lucie and St. Lucie County itself doesn't have like a true downtown. So you know how Miami and Miami Beach, if you're looking to live in South Florida, you know the area a little bit. You know how Miami has Miami Beach and Collins Ave and Ocean Drive and Washington Street, where there's all kinds of dining, restaurants, clubs, theaters, music venues to watch. They don't have that as much here in Port St. Lucie. Same with like Lauderdale, where Fort Lauderdale has Las Olas Boulevard, and even with West Palm Beach, where you have downtown and Clematis Street. St. Lucie a little bit more spread out. Like you have Clover Park in the north, you have Tradition over on the west. That's kind of where they do 4th of July and New Year's Eve fireworks shows, and they have bands and entertainment. And then you have like parks, beaches, boardwalks, and things spread out across the county. If I'm gonna meet somebody in St. Lucie, I'd never really say, hey, I'll meet you in downtown Port St. Lucie. It doesn't really exist. It might come one day, they're talking about it, but it's gonna be a little bit more spread out. Now, you might find that as a con. A lot of people don't mind that because you get to drive around and every area looks really different here in St. Lucie. Let's keep talking about more pros and cons. If you're thinking about making the move of living in here in Port St. Lucie, just give me a call, shoot me a text. Let's keep going talking about the pros and cons right now. Another big pro here, marine life, guys, aquatic. If you're into boating, paddleboarding, jet skiing, kayaking, I am walking across the Riverwalk Boardwalk right now by Veterans Memorial Park. Kind of now I'm on the east side of the county. This is a beautiful boardwalk that spans along the St. Lucie River. We got the causeway right over there that crosses over the St. Lucie River. In this area, you've got dozens of marinas, dozens of places to launch your boat, launch your jet ski, kayaking, paddleboarding. This St. Lucie River connects to the Atlantic Ocean. If you keep following the St. Lucie River, there's actually communities and neighborhoods along the St. Lucie River where you can have canal homes. So if you go to my channel, you'll see a lot of videos there. I do sometimes specialize in canal homes because I love the theme of just go out to your backyard, having a boat dock or a boat lift, fishing right from your backyard, or hopping in a boat, going across the St. Lucie River to the Atlantic Ocean and out to all the beautiful beaches. But yeah, I'm down here, Riverwalk Boardwalk. This is kind of still the same pro about family-friendly activities, but diving more into a pro, if you're into the marinas, boating, beaches, water-based activities, you're gonna get the same lifestyle here as you would find in, let's say, Martin County, which is just south of us, Palm Beach County, below that, Lauderdale, which is Broward County, or Miami-Dade County. You're still gonna have these beautiful canals, inlets, marinas, everything that South Florida has to offer. You can take advantage, but usually for thousands of dollars less for the price of real estate here. So this is a major pro here as well. Water, aquatic activities, and being on the St. Lucie River right here. Okay, folks, one of the big pros I want to share with you about living in Port St. Lucie, your dollar goes so much further here for real estate. You get larger square footage homes, larger lot size. Look at this home on a corner lot, and new construction is plentiful here. There's gated HOA master plan communities with pools, clubhouses, restaurants that are golf cart friendly, and there's non-HOA, like where I am today. I'm in Torino. It's in the northern section of the county. That's Torino. There's tons of new construction here, non-HOA. So here you can park your boat, your RV, your campers, your ATVs, all your toys. This home is 4-bedroom, 3-bath, over 2,500 square feet. I mean, it's a pretty large size home, brand new construction for under $550,000. Many of these homes come with a lot of incentives where some of the builders pay all your closing costs. They give you lower interest rates. A home like this down towards the Miami, Lauderdale, Boca, or Palm Beach area could easily be $50 to $100 to $150 or even $200,000 more, but not here in Port St. Lucie, folks. And just to kind of see this community behind me, guys, you can see, look at all the large lots of land here. That's a huge house, lots of space. You can fence this in, add a pool, park your camper, your boats, your RVs. So that's one big pro here. If you're living in Port St. Lucie, real estate prices, and you can save tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Let's keep talking about the pros and cons here, living in Port St. Lucie. I'm gonna drive this neighborhood real quick, just so you can see the size of the homes and the size of the lots. All right, folks, another con I want to talk about driving around here. You've got to be very careful, especially see these left-only lanes where there's no traffic light. A lot of accidents can happen right here because you're literally stopping to a dead halt and making a left or a U-turn over, this is the US 1, into a highway where people can be going 50, 60, 70 miles an hour here. I just did a U-turn on US 1 and we're heading down over to Jensen Beach so I can show you all that beautiful beach area. This is a major con. It will take some getting used to driving here. Like if you're from the Northeast, like almost anywhere from Virginia up to DC to Philly to New York, Boston, all that, they respect the traffic laws a little bit more. You know, where if you're on the highway, the left lane is usually the faster speed limit. The middle lane is where people are doing cruise control, just kind of going the exact speed limit. And the right lane are for the slow pokes, right? People going a little bit slower. Here, there's no rhyme or reason. You might be in the left lane and someone's doing 30 miles an hour instead of 50 versus the middle, someone flies by you. The right, they could be flying right by you too over the speed limit. So people here will go under the speed limit, over the speed limit. They won't use signals when they're making rights or lefts. You got to zigzag a lot in and out of these lanes, and it could be very dangerous, especially when you're taking lefts only on those main roads like US 1 or St. Lucie West Boulevard. It takes a little bit in getting used to, so just be very careful with that. So folks, we're getting almost to golden hour here, sun's setting soon, and I'm down here at Sandpiper Bay Marina, another pro. Endless options for marinas here to hold boats of any shape, size, and length. We've got, you know, anything from smaller fishing boats to deep sea charters to yacht size vessels out here. So you're never gonna run out of options here. Where to launch, where to go boating. You're gonna have captains with plenty of boats here you can choose from where you could rent the boat for the day as well. There's boat clubs where you can be signed up for a club and, you know, choose your boat that you want depending on, you know, whatever day, week you wanna go out. There's public boat ramp access. There's private marinas that you can rent to slip. Being along the Treasure Coast, we're pretty much considered to be in South Florida anyway. Like again, we are just 10 minutes north of Martin County, about 45 minutes to an hour north of Palm Beach County, and 2 hours north of Miami-Dade County here, centrally located, and also just a couple hours to the north is Orlando. Now, a little con I want to mention, Miami just isn't around the corner. So if you're coming down, let's say you're relocating for work, and maybe you have a corporate office or an office south of West Palm Beach down towards Miami, you're not going to commute from here. You're not going to want to. Maybe if you have to go in the office once a week or every other week, something like you're a remote worker, that might work. But Miami isn't just a hop, skip, and a jump. Yes, you can get there in a day trip. You can leave, Port St Lucie 8 a.m., be down in Miami around 10 or 11 a.m. with traffic, but it's not something where you're going to commute regularly to. This isn't a suburb of Miami, and it's not really a suburb of anywhere south of West Palm Beach. I do know customers and friends and family that live in St. Lucie and still work in Palm Beach County, but they work more in the northern part of the county, like Palm Beach Gardens, Jupiter, kind of anywhere north of downtown West Palm Beach. As you get towards West Palm Beach, it gets to be a little bit of a drive. So that could be a con. If you're thinking you're gonna relocate to St. Lucie, save money on real estate, and then just be a quick drive to West Palm Beach downtown, Lauderdale downtown, or Miami and Miami Beach, that's not gonna happen. I'm here at Sandpiper Bay Marina. Tons of places to dock your boat, rent a boat, charter a boat, stay here full time. But if you're just into being around beautiful scenery like this on marinas, wait till you see where I go down to the beach right now and show you some of the amazing beaches they have here. They even have a dog-friendly beach where you can walk your dog with no leash. Let's go down there right now and talk about a couple more pros and cons of living in Port St. Lucie in South Florida along the Treasure Coast. Okay, so we made it. We're down here in Martin County, just below St. Lucie County in Jensen Beach. Just north is Hutchinson Island. You'll be right back in St. Lucie County. But another pro I want to tell you down here. This is a Saturday, and look at this beautiful beach. Big pro, you're gonna find lower populated beaches down here, less crowded beaches. So you might come out to the beach and only see a couple dozen people down here at Jensen Beach or Hutchinson Island. If you go a little bit north to Walton Rocks Beach, where the dog-friendly beaches, where you can walk your dog without a leash, you won't see anybody out there, maybe 1 or 2 people walking their dogs. But that is another pro versus like Miami, Lauderdale Beach, Hollywood, even Palm Beach area. Much less crowded beaches, and the beaches are just as beautiful as Miami Beach, Lauderdale Beach, guys. Now that could be a con too. If you want to go to like a big party beach where there's a lot of restaurants and bars and things across the street, you're not going to have that in this county as much. You might have a couple restaurants here and there that have special permits to be on the beach, but this isn't like a party hangout. This is a place where people come with friends, family to relax, get away, and just enjoy peace and quiet of that beautiful South Florida lifestyle. Let's go over to the actual, what they call the downtown area here, which is Tradition. That's where they have all the shopping, commercial facilities, chain stores, restaurants, things like that to do here. You want a completely free, no obligation consultation, just give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. My information's right here below. We can help you relocate from anywhere across the country down here to beautiful South Florida. So here's another great pro if you're thinking about living in Port St. Lucie, shopping options. I'm here in St. Lucie West Boulevard. Now this is a major boulevard that runs across the county from west to east in the northern part of the section. You're gonna have commercial plazas like this where we have Sprouts, Petco, Dollar Tree. Behind me we have Guitar Center, Italian restaurant, and way over this way we've got Marshall, Staples, Ross, all the big box stores that you'd be accustomed to if you're coming from the Northeast, from the Midwest, the West Coast, or anywhere across the US. This is not a rural area. You've got beautiful palm tree lined parking lots throughout many of these commercial plazas all around Port St. Lucie. There'll be endless options to choose from and where you can spend your money on your days off and your weekends. And they're building new commercial plazas every day to help support all that new construction and all those residents relocating down here to the Treasure Coast in South Florida. Stay tuned for this next pro that you're going to want to see right now. So another big claim to fame here for Port St. Lucie, and a big pro pro, excellent golfing. You have year-round warm weather golf. I am here at PGA Club and Village in Port St Lucie on one of the greens here. We've got folks golfing over there in the distance. You can see all their golf carts lined up. Way behind me is the golf club, the clubhouse at PGA Club. And there's also luxury homes, condos, villas, and single family homes all throughout this master plan community. So you can be down here in July or December all year round, beautiful warm weather golfing. And you could even live nearby and literally take a golf cart from your backyard to the clubhouse and play a round of golf. So for those of you into golfing, this is a 54-hole championship golf course here at PGA Club and Village. Living in Port St Lucie, there's endless options for golf. This isn't the only golf course in the county, by the way, but this is one of the most famous and highly rated here. It's PGA Club and Village in St. Lucie County. Let's keep going on this tour right now, and I'm going to talk to you about the final pro and cons. So this is one of the most important, so stick around and let's wrap up the video right now. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've got one more pro and con for you. Thanks for sticking around throughout the entire video. You guys are incredible. Again, if you're thinking about relocating down here, just give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. We can have a no obligation consultation about all the pros and cons of living in Port St Lucie. The last pro, because there's so much new construction, as I'm here in Model Row in Catalina Palms, there are dozens of homes, from single family homes to villas to luxury 3,000 plus square foot homes like we have behind me. Because of all that new construction, because there's so much, and different master plan communities that compete with each other for your business, there are lots of incentives that are offered if you're buying a home down here. Now, what are incentives? Things like money towards your closing costs when you buy the home. That could be all the closing costs paid or a large portion of the closing costs paid. They also offer lower interest rates. Many of these new home builders work closely with a bank, or they are the bank. So if the interest rates right now are around the 6 to 7%, you might be able to get something in the high 4s or 5% because they want to get you in the community and buy a home, right? So you got to reach out to me to know which places offer the best incentives or which offer the incentives that fit your lifestyle. A little con on the flip side of that, if you're coming in from out of state, St. Lucie County, because of all the rapid development, the property taxes can be a little bit higher than some of the other counties. Now, if you're coming from New York, up northeast, or some of the major cities in the north to the Midwest to the West Coast, you're probably going to be used to those property taxes, right? So they can be anywhere from about 2% of the purchase price of the home here in St. Lucie County. But there's a lot of features and benefits you can do, like the homestead exemption, where you can lock in the assessed value of your property and the county can't increase the property value on you dramatically year to year. You're pretty much locked in at a 3% increase year over year. They can't go higher than 3%. Reach out to me if you want to know how to do those homestead exemptions. Another good news, they're enacting legislation around to try to double and triple and even quadruple the homestead exemption so that you can save even more money on your property tax, and eventually eliminating the majority of those property taxes. Those have to be voted in law still, so they are working on that legislation. So that's a con, that the property tax can be a little higher, but the pro are there are going to be ways where you can combat that eventually. So we hope you loved the video. We hope you loved all the pros and cons here. I've got another video coming up in one of the sides here, all about living and relocating to South Florida. See my channel, I've got pool homes, luxury homes, pros and cons. I've got St. Lucie versus Martin County, living all across the Treasure Coast here. If you found this information valuable, give us a like, because that really helps us out a great deal and gets this video to more folks like you that are thinking of relocating and living in Port St Lucie. We appreciate you so much. We'll see you real soon, and check out one of these videos coming up right now.